Hello, welcome to Ed Media. Well, it's been a while since I made a Sonic video, but it's time for a comeback. I love Sonic, so I always wanted it to be a part of my channel even if it don't do numbers. And what better way to do that than discussing about the most recent entry in the franchise, Shadow Generations. Well, actually it's Sonic X Shadow Generations, but we are going to be focusing on the new game rather than the remaster. Shadow Generations is peak. It's one of the best games from start to finish. So, one thing I really want to talk about is the acts. I'm going to be ranking them. There's 13 acts, so let's get started. I'll only give brief explanations, not long ones. I prefer 2D over 3D, so most Act 2s are gonna be low. Anyways, this act is nothing special. Doom Morph is great here, but after that, it's just not decent platforming. The alternate paths aren't as good as the ones in other acts, and the gondola is not very fun. But that doesn't mean there isn't fun to be found. Like I said, platforming is decent, so there's still fun to be found. While this stage is pretty good, it's really linear. Most alternate paths there is just two, a left path or a right path. While it's fun to run on walls and make precise jumps, it isn't as fun as other 3D acts, and it doesn't help that most of the stage is just cinematics. While these have great action, you do just sit and see what happens and you have to wait until you can finally resume gameplay. But I will say that the movie location and skin are peak. Rail grinding, while looks sick, can get boring since rails are usually automated and all you have to do is switch from one rail to another. Then there's rails in 2D, which are even more boring since all you do is boost and make the occasional jump. While this stage shakes the bland gameplay of rails in 2D with switches to alternate the rails and constantly needing to jump, it's still weak compared to other 2D acts. But once again, that doesn't mean there isn't fun to be found. Jumping to other rails is actually very fun, and this stage has efficient use of chaos control, and the chase of the truck was neat at the end. This act is also filled with lots of alternate paths. Though getting the paths feel way more rewarding as you don't have to pull some chaos control trick. It's also nice that Shadow's homing shot thing returns from Forces. The Death Egg robot sequences are okay. When you're indoors, I believe that's when the stage really shines. You have access to a top route that you must constantly make well-timed jumps, or the bottom route where you use Doom Surf in 2D. Great act. This act is really fun. You'd think that an act with mostly rails would be boring, but the level design is fantastic. You make jumps to other sections, you flip switches, and those sections where you dodge the trucks, it's all fun, but it is noticeably linear compared to the other acts in the game. But that doesn't stop this act from being great. Though, the Radical Highway segment isn't all that special. This stage is really fun and is filled with great platforming. The gravity cylinders are satisfying to use. And this act has the best uses of chaos control as you can make the missiles work as platforms and reach unattainable paths. The wings are also great in this act. They're fun to use here. But, Constantly having to open doors with Chaos Spears does get a bit annoying after a while. But as mentioned before, there's lot of alternate paths, so there's many ways to traverse. This act is really great. Despite it being pretty linear, there's still alternate ways to go about the stage. There's also things you need to dodge while also making jumps to other sections. Later in the act, it's really fun because you're indoors. It's really linear, but the gameplay is fun. And the Radical Highway segment is the best of the three. Instead of it being linear, there's actually many ways to go about and you have alternate ways to go about it. The best 2D stage by far. This stage has many different paths and shortcuts to take. Right at the beginning, you have two choices. Go to the water rail thing, or figure out what's the deal with the rings, which actually turns out to be a hidden path. There are so many different paths you take. The amount of shortcuts you take based off your skills is awesome. I love this act. Even the moving platforms where you need to time correctly is very fun. This whole act is so fun. This stage is phenomenal. Already at the beginning, you can jump from the rail you're on and jump to another one. That's a hidden pathway. And there's an abundance of different pathways. And I prefer 3D stages, so this is like a dream come true. This act has some of the best uses of chaos control. Very great act, so many different pathways and shortcuts, and the Radical Highway part is really cool too. This stage is so peak. There are so ways you can go about this act. One is going through it normally. This is probably the best option since there's so many hidden pathway and shortcuts to take and it's really fun. This act is also really challenging, so the combination of pathways, shortcuts, and challenging all equal to a really fun act. And it has a long length too. It's really fun. I love this act. But you can also use the Doom Wing since this act has a different pathway for Doom Wing. This option is really fun too. It's fun to fly around in the path specifically made for the wings, though sometimes it's mostly just fly to win, but that's okay. Man, this stage just looks visually appealing. Anyways, this act is very notable for its very huge abundance of pathways and hidden pathways. There are literally so many ways to go about this stage. There are so many different pathways. It's so fun to explore new ways to traverse the act. And this act is pretty long, so the fun never feels too long or too short. Very satisfied with this stage. The Doom Surf works really well here and is the source for finding many different pathways. It's just so much fun seeing the hidden ways you find by using skill or your curiosity. This stage is one hell of a fun ride. This stage is absolutely crazy. Already we are skydiving to the ground. One naturally descends into the ground, but there's actually a hidden pathway that you access by using Doom Spears and then attacking the enemies. This stage is full of distortion fun. It ain't like other acts that just have a remix of the Clarion it's based off of. This one is just full distortion. And I'm absolutely here for it. There are terrains lying towards you, terrain twisting, and there's even water tornadoes to dodge. This act is so peak. And it's lengthy too, so that's A+. Yeah, this act is amazing. It's like if the Black Arms invaded Radical Highway and caused chaos and destruction. And my favorite act is Chaos Island Act 1. It's ironic seeing Chaos Island acts being my least favorite and most favorite. This act does so many things right. There's multiple paths everywhere. The one thing that makes this act the best is Doom Morph. I wish this power was used more because it was fun learning this mechanic. And it absolutely carries the act. There are many paths you can find using this power. In fact, there's so many paths you find using Doom powers like Doom Spears and Doom Blast. It is so fun using these to find different paths and making shortcuts. This stage is full of shortcuts and hidden goodies. Doom Morph definitely carries it. I love every single part of this stage and it's my favorite act. Well, that's all the acts ranked in Shadow Generations. I still like all the acts, even my least favorite. Shows how great this game is. If you want more Sonic content, be sure to like and subscribe while also leaving a comment. Goodbye.